Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're having a little bit more of an intimate video. I'm going to be walking you guys through my journey with astrology. I know this is something that I post about often and has been a huge part of my life, especially the past year. And a lot of you guys ask me about my practices and how I got into it. So I thought I would share with a very special video my journey and how I got into where I'm at now with astrology. So just to kind of give you a little bit of background, my entire life I've always been interested in astrology. It's always been something that I was drawn to and I didn't really know why. I constantly would read about my sign and learn about the zodiac. I would purchase books, but it was a very surface level in the beginning. And I would say it was at that surface level of understanding and interest until last year when I was introduced to the Spirit Daughter workbooks. So in June 2020, I stumbled upon a Spirit Daughter advertisement on Instagram. It was for their seasonal workbooks, and I started following them. I was super interested, specifically because the following season was going to be Cancer season. And if you followed me for a while, then you guys know that I am a Cancer and I'm super aligned with my sign. So I thought it would be really cool to purchase the workbook and dive a little bit deeper into my sign specifically, not knowing that I would be diving into so much more than I realized at the time. After I received my workbook, I was super excited. I dove right into it. There was so much information and I learned more about my sign and the season, but also how the zodiac signs are tied to the moon cycles. So that was my first introduction to following and charting the moon cycles. I felt so connected, and being a Cancer, we are actually ruled by the moon as a planet. So I've always been fascinated by the moon. Even as a kid, I had gotten a telescope for my birthday and I would always look up and watch the moon. So I found it so exciting that something I was interested for so long was tied to the lunar cycles. So I decided to dive a little bit deeper and I decided to purchase a book called The Stars Within You by Juliana McCarthy. And this actually started to help me understand the natal chart, which is the planetary alignments at the time of your birth. At previous, I was only looking at my sun sign and just seeing that one level of my personality traits. And by understanding my natal chart, I was starting to figure out, a lot more about myself than I had known before. When you are looking at your full chart, there are many different aspects that determine the dimensions of astrology. And these include your sign, of course, but also the houses, aspects, and so much more. And it really talked about how to read your own personal chart. It just taught me a lot about every single sign in the zodiac cycle, which was something that I was interested in learning more about. This book specifically, I would recommend to people who are just starting into astrology. I think it's a great read. It's got beautiful pictures. It has, at a glance, a summary of each sign, and then it dives really far deep into your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant, and then of course all the other planets, which I found so crucial. So I was able to learn a lot more in terms of dimension around my personality, but also how to deal with other people as well, and how to just accept everyone as they are, despite the fact that we are all uniquely different. So as I continued the monthly workbooks, I started to work with the energies of each season, and I started to notice the differences between one energy to the next. I started learning more about each solstice, and within each solstice there is 3 different signs, and I felt a shift from season to season, and the workbooks really helped guide me through that and gain insight into what specific energy we were working with at the time. Not only if you're, that specific zodiac sign, but as a collective, we all experience that same energy shift. So it was so important to me to start understanding how that played a role in how I felt, my, just personal well-being, and how to deal with struggles and challenges that arise each season. So I definitely started to notice the difference in the energy and the shift of the energy from each season and notice that change in myself. But I would say the rituals were the biggest impact in my life. When I started doing them, it just felt like I was able to actually assess and work with the energy a lot better. And when I say ritual, I don't mean something woo-woo like, you know, going outside and chanting around a fire, although there are many people that do rituals like that. For me personally, when I stumbled on the Spirit Daughter workbooks, they specifically outlined a set of strategies or practices that you can go through in order to work with that specific energy and to benefit from that time. So I was doing them on the day of the new moon and the day of the full moon. So just to give you a walkthrough, normally I'll start with readings of understanding what's going on at that time, what energy we're working with. Then I'll go through a series of yoga that is provided, so different poses, different stretching. Then I'll move on to meditation, which is super important, and I love that they provided a different meditation for each season, depending on the zodiac sign that we were working with. And then lastly, we would do a card reading, which was super awesome. I was often bringing my partner into this as well, so it was a great experience for both of us. But this is where also I started card reading, and I found that it was also really helpful to tap into my intuition. The last thing and the most important thing was the journal prompts. So there's a series of questions that are asked for the new moon and the full moon. The new moon is only 4 questions, full moon is about 10 to 12 questions, and it just really walks you through things that you are personally struggling and dealing with. Certain seasons it's a lot easier to work with, others can be more challenging depending on who you are, and you basically just go through and answer a series of questions based on how you want to feel. This process was the greatest shift for me. I still look back and read what I was writing September, October last year, and to see the shift that was experienced 6 months later is so tremendous. I think the journal prompts really help you chart and keep track of where you're at and where you want to be. So basically, when I performed these rituals, I was tapping into my inner intuition, learning more about my soul and my purpose, helping figure out what my life path should be. And I think that so often we're so caught up in everything. It was such a great experience to be able to stop and reflect on what's going on. And if this is happening every 2 weeks, it's such a great reminder of where you're headed and a great way to keep track of your goals and just your life in general. So had I never started purchasing the workbooks, I would never have known how or why these practices will be so impactful in my life. And I'm super thankful, and I show gratitude for the universe pointing me in that direction at a time when I really needed it most. I needed to do inner work, and I was looking for something to assist with that, and astrology just fell into my life, and ever since I have not stopped. I never miss a ritual, which is so crazy, and they happen every 2 weeks. You'll have a new moon, and then the next 2 weeks you'll have a full moon. Even on the quarter phases, I like to do a little practice as well. So that is where I'm at in terms of my ritual practice. So around November, December, I ordered a moon journal for 2021 so I could start working with my goals in alignment with astrology, both in a career sense and just in a general life sense, which has helped quite a bit. During December, I actually caught COVID and was battling COVID from the end of December into January, and I had so much free time, so I went and ordered a few books, and Moonology by Yasmin Boland was another book that helped me start to get into my goal setting, manifestation practices, and working with manifestation surrounding the lunar cycles. And this gave insight into more types of practices, different rituals, different ways to approach the lunar cycle and what energy that you're dealing with at each phase of the moon. And it also talks a lot about astrology as well. I had so much time. I read the book within a couple of days. And even though I was feeling so crappy with COVID, I still did my ritual, which happened to be a full moon in Cancer. I think that it truly helped the healing process of me getting better from COVID as well, which is so crazy. I think the most powerful practice I took from that book was the new moon manifesting or wishing exercise, which is basically to create a list of things that you want to wish for that moon cycle. And they say the new moon is the best time to do that, because your desires that you're trying to have come true will usually come true during the full moon or leading up to the full moon if you are truly exercising your manifestation properly. I've manifested a ton of different things throughout the year in terms of creative projects, relationships, even, manifesting the apartment of my dreams, which myself and my partner found later this year. So it's so crazy that practice has been such a huge impact in my life and how I've addressed my goals and my desires moving forward. Also, on the note of manifestation, the book Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks is one of my huge recommendations as well. I started reading it around February this year after the wonderful Lily Lime Lemon. She was my life coach during the beginning of this year. She recommended it to me since I was talking about manifestation, and it is such a great read. So I definitely recommend, if you're interested in manifestation, give that one a read. It's such a good book to help you understand how to work with manifestation and how it's possible for anyone. So this month is my 1-year anniversary for the rituals that I've been doing every 2 weeks with the Spirit Daughter workbooks. I cannot believe I've been doing it for a full year. It's made such a tremendous impact in my life, and I just literally did a ritual this morning before filming this video. It was a full moon in Aquarius. Astrology has really helped me shine a light on the challenges and the things that I have struggled with over my lifetime. And it's also helped me embrace my strengths and the things that I'm good at as well. And I think it could do that for a lot of people. Studying and better understanding astrology has also given me a greater sense of appreciation for those around me, and just being able to show universal love for each and everyone's differences. Because if you study astrology, every single natal chart is different. We are all very individual beings. So it is important that we embrace each other's differences. And I love this aspect of astrology. Every time I complete a ritual, the level of alignment that I feel and the authenticity I step into is so unmatched. If you're interested in starting your own journey with astrology, I've included all my references and recommendations below so that you can find your own path. And that doesn't mean it has to be mine or anyone else's. And that is the beauty of astrology. There's so much depth to it. There's so much to learn. And I'm still forever learning. Right now, I'm trying to get to know and understand the houses a lot better. And I think that there's always a level that we can go deeper in terms of understanding ourselves and doing the inner work to become a better person. So that is what astrology has done for my life. I know this has been a little bit of a longer video, but I truly wanted to give you guys a better explanation as to why astrology has changed my life. So do you practice astrology? Do you find what I'm talking about to be something that you work with as well? What are the ways in which you practice astrology? I would love to know. And if you don't practice astrology at all, are you a little bit more interested after watching this video? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to talk to you guys more about this, and let me know as well what types of videos you want to see surrounding astrology next. Thank you so much, guys. Please give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel as well. I will see you guys soon. Take care.